Hey everyone, welcome to More Layers. I'm Seth Mariano.
And I'm Jordan Smith, and welcome to our latest episode. If you have never been here before, here's how our show typically works. We have a topic at hand that we discuss throughout most of the episode, and usually that topic is discussed the previous week so that we have some time to prepare. We have some preset questions that we answer, maybe have some conversations that branch off of that. And once we're done with those, we move on to a segment known as game time. And that usually involves us quizzing each other or finding some way to challenge each other, sometimes based on the topic, though it doesn't have to be. And then the last couple of segments are news that bites and news that rocks. News that bites is something that happened either personally or in the news that maybe wasn't so good. And then news that rocks goes the opposite way, where we talk about something good that happened again, either in our life or something that happened in the news. And once we're done with that, we usually sign off, and Seth and I will discuss the topic for next week or whenever the next episode is.
And so our big topic this time, and this is I didn't think about this when I came up with it, but this is the season for it pretty much, theme and amusement parks.
Yeah, with summer right around the corner, a lot of people are going to be going to those.
Yeah. Summer is pretty much underway. We're like a couple weeks or so into it, and I have a few questions down. The first one's pretty basic. What are some park attractions? Could be rides, shows, both of the above, other things that you have enjoyed.
That is definitely an excellent question. The first of three that I wrote down was there's a theme park relatively near where we are called Darien Lake, and every summer, I believe, they have this show called Kingdom Bound, where it's kind of like a concert with multiple bands. You don't have to be there for all of them. You can just go and see your favorite if you want. Uh, my sister and I went a handful of years ago now to see the band Skillet, and she got us right up against the edge of the stage. It was very fun. We loved all the music that we heard, and the lead singer high-fived me at one point, so that was a big plus.
Yeah, I've never been to that event myself. I know my brother has. I think my sister has as well. But I've also heard a bit of Skillet's music, and yeah, they're pretty good.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
they're really nice people too. The lead singer John Cooper, he talked about his personal life a little bit, and he would only do that to kind of get an important message across, which is really nice. So overall, it was definitely a good show to go to at an amusement park.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yep. Then the other two took place at the same park because back in December, I went to Universal Orlando with a couple people. And the first attraction that I listed from there was the ride centered around Men in Black. It worked kind of like a roller coaster, but at the same time, you could blast all these aliens or monsters, even target the opposing cart because there would be another ride going at the same time as you, and you had to see which group would score more points. So it was a ride, it was a game, it was a competition. It added so much into so little, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, that sounds like something I'd like to try.
Oh, I would definitely recommend it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like a sort of interactive thing like Disney's Space Ranger Spin or Toy Story Mania, which the former of which I'll get to later.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Uh, and then the last one I wrote also was Universal Orlando. It was the Christmas parade that they were doing because again, we went in December, so they did a parade centered around that. Saw a lot of characters we recognized. It was kind of like if you couldn't go to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, this was a lot like that. There'd be the balloons, there'd be attractions with singing people and characters, dances. It was a lot of fun. It was a little cold, but it was still fun to witness.
And hopefully less crowded.
Oh yeah, it wasn't nearly as crowded. Once it was over, you could pretty much just go wherever you needed to.
Yeah. I put down a few examples of my own. I put down the first couple were rides at the Jollywood Park in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, on that I visited on one of my Christmas trips to Tennessee. Just after we closed Shrek in 2019, we did some of the stuff there. One ride, my first experience. So I'm a late bloomer. My first experience of a full-blown roller coaster with loops, the Tennessee Tornado.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
It
are
was,
you good with roller coasters in general? Because I'm one of those people that can't do the steep drops or anything.
I think of there's a part of me that gets kind of shaky inside, but by the time it gets started, or right by the time it gets really intense, and so I'm pretty comfortable with it, and I'm pretty much at ease more or less.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, I liked that one.
Cool. What was it
Yeah,
called again?
the Tennessee Tornado.
Tennessee Tornado. Okay.
Yeah, and there was one other ride there I put, the Wild Eagle, kind of similar. It's a sort of, your feet are dangling kind of free, and you're strapped into these seats and kind of going around twists and turns, and steep hills, sharp turns, sort of. It was a good one too.
I think I've ridden something like that before. Want to say it might have been at Hershey Park. Maybe, but I'd have to recollect a little bit more later to figure that out. But those are still fun.
Yeah, and one Disney thing that I mentioned earlier, the Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin, which is I guess, sort of a cult classic,
Yep.
a sort of interactive ride and sort of video gaming target shooting, sort of thing. It's pretty much simple as that. It's no, it's a good one.
I do remember. I don't remember a lot from when I last went to Disney when I was about 6, I believe. But if there's one thing I do remember, it is the Space Ranger spin.
And then there was. It might still be going on. There's been a live show at Disney. I think maybe at the Magic Kingdom Park, Mickey's PhilharMagic. A sort of now, for those of you who don't know, it's a sort of 4D live show where Donald gets his hand on the Sorcerer Mickey hat, and they sort of recreate in CG a bunch of classic Disney animated film scenes that it kind of gets transported through in some crazy magic frenzy sort of thing.
Okay, that actually sounds
Yeah,
really fun. I don't remember doing that
yeah,
one.
yeah. But yeah, it's a good one.
Okay.
And then a couple ones from our local amusement park, Seabreeze, out by the lake or whatever, Seabreeze.
Yep.
One of them, the bobsled, which is basically like sort of a recreation of what it's like supposedly to be on an Olympic luge. It's good. It's nice and fast. It's got some nice slopes and speedy turns, and that's a good one. And then the wave swinger, which is like your classic carnival yo-yo ride, except with a little twist, a little bit of a wave motion added in.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so those as well, yeah.
I remember the bobsled. I'm not sure about the wave swinger though. Although it, I'm probably going tomorrow, so I'll definitely be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, I believe in that spot they had an original like classic yo-yo, and then they replaced it with the wave swinger, if I'm correct.
Oh, okay, okay. Got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. All right. And this one, kind of a lower note, arguably. The question of what are some park attractions you felt underwhelmed by?
Well, this was a little difficult because I can't think of too many rides where I was completely underwhelmed exactly, but there were some rides at Universal Orlando that I felt could have been done a little better, I guess. Um, and that usually boils down to some of the simulation type rides where you're on a vehicle and then try to make it seem like you're in the world, which to a degree worked, but at the same time, I still didn't feel like I was fully not invested exactly, but I just didn't feel like I was completely in the world, more so watching a movie from multiple directions, which also didn't kind of help because I had to keep looking. It's like, where is everything happening right now? I gotta find it, gotta find it. Not to say that those weren't fun, but it was not as easy to get invested into what was going on because there was just a lot to pay attention to.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, we'll protect the innocent. Yeah. You guys might find something in it that you might like it better than he did or we did. I guess you won't know if you don't try yourself. I did put down one,
Hmm.
and mm, again, you may not know unless you try it for yourself, people. But I did take a ride once on the Star Tours ride at Disney. It's sort of like an X-wing or spaceship simulation thing. I think it's supposed to feel like a super speedy thrill ride, but um, I didn't get much out of it personally, though.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, like Seth was saying, try it first and develop your own opinion.
yeah. All right. And just one last question. What are some attractions you'd like to see be created?
All right. So I did come up with a small handful of ideas here. For those that are not aware, I am a big fan of the Sonic franchise. I would personally love to see a ride, whether it be 3D, 4D, what have you, where from Sonic's perspective, you're traversing through a whole level from beginning to end. You wouldn't necessarily spin along with him because, you'd get dizzy, but you'd still get to feel the sense of speed, the moments where you're in the air or you're running through a loop or something. I feel like people could be heavily immersed into that and just have a blast while it's going on.
Especially if they're a Sonic fan.
Absolutely. And I mean, they're making a Nintendo theme park, so I feel like this wouldn't be out of the question.
Is there going to be one in the US or is it in Asia, Japan? Or,
I know the first one that was being set up was in Japan. I want to say they're bringing one to the US. I can't remember if it's in Florida or California or even both, maybe, but I'm pretty sure there's at least one coming somewhere to the US.
okay.
Yeah. And then the next one I had was a Disney ride where you can select a Disney villain, like a popular Disney villain, let's say Scar, Ursula, Maleficent, or something, and you take on the role of the character that defeated that villain and fight them. So like you could be the hero of the story and fight the Disney villain until they're defeated.
All right. Okay.
And then the last one I had, I feel like this could be done if it's done right, is a sort of Aladdin attraction, Aladdin ride, whatever you want to call it, where multiple people go at the same time and it's a race amongst, let's say, at least two or three people. They race through an obstacle course to see who can reach the lamp in the cave first.
Okay. So, I guess that would be kind of like a recreation of a scene from the movie in a way.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah. All right. Right. I put down a few things of myself. I put down a few things myself. The first thing one is kind of a cheat because it's already existed, but it's defunct, and I think I might like to see it be brought back.
Okay.
It's the former Disney attraction "Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?" Play It, where guests could play millionaire for prizes,
Hmm.
and and people in the audience would play right along with them, and people who answered the most correct the fastest in the audience could be the next one to play. And so it's like an all inclusive experience, and I kind of have a little bit of a thing for trivia, and I think like I would like to see that brought back and maybe get the opportunity to get to the chair and maybe win the $1,000,000 top prize.
I was about to say, if they ever bring that back and you get a chance to do it, please let me
Yeah.
know because I really think you'd nail it.
Well, thank you.
Of course.
Yeah. And but the other two are kind of more original. I was thinking, I guess this idea popped in my mind after the first volume of the new season of Stranger Things dropped on Netflix. A sort of Stranger Things themed coaster. There is plenty of stuff on that show that is like ripe, I guess you could say, for suspense and horror and shock, and it's something that could lend itself well to a thrill ride, I think.
All right. I personally haven't seen Stranger Things, but based on what you're saying, it sounds like it could potentially be a good one, especially if like would it be scary in
I
some
think it would
places? Like
be.
would it jump scare you?
I think it would be. Maybe
Okay.
maybe there'd be some jump scares. Might get stunned by a demogorgon or some kind of other supernatural or whatever alien or something.
All right. Sounds
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah. And then the last one I said some sort of VR ride based on aerial scenes from movies or something like Top Gun or Star Wars. Maybe some kind of VR ride like like very similar to the sort of Rogue Squadron sequence in the original Star Wars or something.
See, I can't remember where this was, but I could have sworn there was a ride where I think it was a room of people all doing it at once in front of a big screen. I feel like at one point there was a ride somewhere where it was a Star Wars flight simulator type thing, and it brought you through the trench in the Death Star. So I feel like something like that might already exist, but if it doesn't, it definitely should.
Yeah, I think there's some potential.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you could probably even combine it with like the Space Ranger spin type thing, where not only do you have a VR setup, but you're also involved in firing some of the lasers or whatever it may be, depending on what vehicle you're in.
Oh, I'm for that. Yeah.
So who knows?
Okay, well, that's all I got for the questions. I don't know if Jordan has a quiz. I know I do. But if
I
he
do,
does,
yes.
I'll let him go first.
Okay. Which theme park allows you to quote unquote meet the likes of Scooby Doo, Megatron, Gru and his minions, and Jimmy Fallon all in one place?
Universal?
Yeah, it is Universal. I can only say that because I actually had that happen.
Yeah, yeah. The Minions part helped. I know that's like Despicable Me. That's Universal. So
Yep. And Scooby Doo, we met people in the costumes on the first day there. Megatron, somebody was in a giant costume of him. And Jimmy Fallon had a ride where you kind of race him through the city back to the studio, and it was a lot of fun.
the race through New York. Yeah, I've seen
Yep,
commercial for that.
I recommend it. Uh, then, what is the name of the impressionist on YouTube that has become famous for doing impressions of Disney and Universal characters directly to the characters themselves? And fun fact, he also voiced Dracula in the fourth Hotel Transylvania movie.
Uh, Brian Hull.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I think
wasn't
I've
sure.
seen. Did you see the one where he did the impersonation of Edna Mode in the Chick-fil-A drive-through?
I don't know if I saw him do it there, but I do remember him meeting Edna Mode and doing the impression to her. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did something like that because I know he
Oh
used to
yeah,
do a lot of drive-through videos.
I think he did that when the second Incredibles was getting ready to come out.
Oh, okay, that would make
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah. It was a
Oh,
good voice.
oh yeah, I wasn't sure you'd know who that is, but apparently you do.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Between Disney World and Disneyland, which of the two has an attraction called Indiana Jones Adventure?
Disneyland.
Yep.
Yeah, I think because Disney World has, I think, Epic Stunt Spectacular, that Indiana Jones show.
Yeah, they both do have an Indiana Jones one, but the one in California is the one that has this specific one.
All right.
Okay, this next one is probably going to be pretty easy, but which big amusement park just recently celebrated its big 50th anniversary?
Okay, so I believe it's Walt Disney World.
It is, yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. 1972 kind of popped in my head, so I figured, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, it was around 1972 when it was established, and it's still going strong despite the pandemic affecting some of it. But yeah, it's 50 years.
Okay.
Right, and then the last one. Which park has the now popular Velocicoaster, and what film or films is the ride based on?
Believe it's Universal, and the inspiration, I believe, would be Jurassic Park.
Absolutely. I think it was
Right.
more geared toward the Jurassic World films, but it's still in the same franchise, so I'll give it to you.
All right. Okay, is that it?
Yep.
All right. I came up with a number of questions on the theme of baseball. Guess considering that this is the baseball season, so naturally it just happened to make sense. I guess just a coincidence that it came to my head. So
Okay.
here is all right. The first one. What is the common two-word term for a four-run home run, and also the name of a popular breakfast combo at Denny's?
That would be the Grand Slam.
Indeed, yes. All right. What position did Charlie Brown play on his team?
If I remember correctly, he was the pitcher.
Yes, he was. And who was Charlie Brown's catcher?
Oh, who was the... I don't think it was Lucy. I don't think it was Linus. I want to say, I'm trying to think back to all the Charlie Brown comics that I've read. I'm pretty sure it was Schroeder.
Yep.
Okay, it was Schroeder. Okay, good.
All right. Okay, this one might be a bit tricky. Probably be easier for those who are sports buffs or whatever. All right. So, what Yankee was controversially granted a home run in a 1996 playoff game after a fan caught the ball?
I know some Yankees have had controversial moments before. I'm not sure who that happened to. My first thought was Derek Jeter, but I...
Yep, that's him.
Oh, it was Derek Jeter?
Yeah, he hit a fly ball. An outfielder on the other team tried to catch it, but apparently some Yankee fan, a kid, reached over the wall and caught it. They have a spectator interference rule, but the officials concluded, it was a home run. It wasn't an interference, they said.
I mean, if he was reaching over the wall, keeping the outfielder from catching it, then yeah, that would have been fan interference. I'm not sure I'd give that to them then.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't. Yeah. Even though I am a Yankee fan, I consider myself and this opponent was a division rival. I still kind of feel for the guy.
Oh, sure. Even with players or teams that I'm not particularly fond of, if they get robbed of a victory or anything of the sort, then I'd still feel bad.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, next, what comedian and talk show host starred in the film Fever Pitch?
Comedian and talk show host. Well, the three that come to my mind are Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, and James Corden. Is it any of those three?
Yeah, it is.
I could see Jimmy Fallon doing it.
It is Fallon. Yep.
Okay. I was about to say, out of those three, I feel like he would be the most likely.
Yep. Okay. And what MLB team did Fever Pitch focus on?
Ooh, that I don't know. Trying to think of different baseball teams. I mean, there's the Yankees. There's the Red Sox, the White Sox. I believe there is the Orioles part of the MLB.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I honestly don't know on that one. I don't have much to work off of.
The Red Sox.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Kind of ironic. Fallon's from New York, but whatever.
Yeah, what can you do?
Yeah. All right. In what Muppet film did the Muppets try to foil an attempted theft of something called the baseball diamond?
This was a Muppet movie. Trying to think of the different ones that exist. I don't think it would be Muppet Christmas Carol. I don't think it was Muppets from Space. I don't think it was any of the ones simply titled The Muppets. Or The Muppet Show. I think it was Muppet Treasure Island. I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue, but I'm having trouble coming up with it.
The Great Muppet Caper.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah, that one's like really old, so don't know if I can blame you for that.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. In 2016, the longest World Series title drought came to an end when the title was taken by what team?
Wait, say that again?
All right. So in 2016, this team ended what had been the longest drought without a World Series win.
Well, I don't think it would be the Yankees because they're one of the highest winning teams. And this is still baseball.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't think it would be the Red Sox.
Mm-mm.
2016. Shoot, is this the one
Yep.
that the Men in Black films almost predicted? Or Back to the Future, rather?
Yeah.
It was either the Cubs or the team they faced.
It was
I
the
can't.
Cubs.
It was the Cubs. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It was their first World Series win since 1908.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And let's see if you can name 3 MLB teams that have colors in their names.
Well, there's the Red Sox and the White Sox, so that's two. Let's see, what could be a third one? The Mets don't have a color. The A's don't have a color. Is there one called the Blue Jays, or is that hockey?
Yep. Blue Jays. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. There's 3. And then the other one is the Reds, the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh,
All right. All right. I just got one left.
okay.
Right. What is the name of the Philadelphia Phillies stadium?
Let's see. I know I've heard this before. Uh, is it named after something or someone?
A thing, a business.
Okay. And this is for which team?
Philadelphia Phillies.
My first thought was the AT&T Stadium, but I don't think that's right.
Now, I believe that's the Cowboys football field.
Right. Um, I'm not sure.
Citizens Bank Park.
Okay.
Yeah, I wrote that one with you in mind because Philly Eagles figured maybe, worth a shot.
Well, it definitely made sense. I just haven't followed baseball as close as I do football. And even then, I don't follow that ridiculously closely.
That's fair. All right. Let's go to news that bites and news that rocks. And what have you got that bites today?
For news that bites, I had a little bit of a personal story because for those that don't know or don't remember, because I can't remember if we discussed this at length on the show or not, but I did move out of my house really recently, which is why the background also looks a bit different. Uh, about a week or so before we did, though, uh, one of my two dogs was getting pretty old. She had several medical issues, and we weren't sure if she was going to do too well with the move. So we figured the best thing to do was end her suffering and put her down.
Yeah, I guess if it's what they would have wanted, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it was probably the best thing for her at that point. We didn't want to, but we figured probably wouldn't be fair to her to keep pushing her when she was already struggling a bit. Then, and in addition to that, my other dog, you can't tell this just by looking at her, but it turns out she has a form of liver cancer, and the vets were saying she might make it to the end of the year. So I've had both of these dogs for years, many years, and I could be losing both of them within the same year.
And even just within a few like short months.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. My thing that bites is more of a news thing that if you live in the sort of region we live in, you probably are familiar with this story about the event that they're calling Jane's Revenge. And it was in response to the potential reversal of the Roe v. Wade Supreme Court decision. I think this might have been before the decision was finalized. Might have been while they were thinking about it. I believe this happened in Amherst, New York, and I think that's a suburb of Buffalo. A Compass Care facility was attacked by some sort of pro-choice activist or something, and a bunch of people were hurt or killed or something. It was just a like malicious attack.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, I understand a few people would be upset about that whole case or overturning, but I feel like if you're going to be upset about it, fine, but don't take it out on other people and possibly risk killing them. It's really not worth it.
Yeah, yeah, and this facility may be an openly pro-life facility, but that doesn't mean they're telling you what decision to make. If anything, they're just encouraging you to at least think about it.
Right, exactly.
But switching gears, what about news that rocks?
For news that rocks, we have discussed this on the show multiple times, but for those that are not aware, Seth and I are part of a theatrical group called Artists Unlimited, and it allows people with disabilities to be able to perform on stage without prejudice. And normally, by now, we will have known for months on what the next show is, but because of COVID and how it was changing a lot of rules, we had to wait a little bit longer to see what the show was and whether or not it was going to be two casts again instead of one. But they have confirmed it is one single cast, and they just last night announced what our next show will be.
And it's going to be Willy Wonka.
And the Chocolate Factory, yeah.
Yeah.
They have done it once before, but this was many years ago. And because it's their 20th anniversary, they figured they're going to bring back a big one, and this is how they're going to do it.
Yeah. 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 And I think some of the people in our group have probably only done the earlier production. I don't know if they'll just give them the same role again, or we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the person and the role, but we'll probably find out in a little over a month or so, maybe about a month and a half. Because usually at the beginning of August is when rehearsals will start, or not beginning of August, the end of August. That's when rehearsals normally start. And then usually about 2 or 3 rehearsals in, we are told who plays what. So we have a
I'm
lot
looking.
to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I am as well.
Yeah, and my thing that rocks today is a simple little basic thing, but some friends of mine have just finished high school. Some that you may know, some that only I know, and I won't say any more. It's just I've gotten to know them pretty well, and just I'm happy for them, and we'll see where things go from here.
Well, congratulations to them then.
Yeah.
You know what they're going to
Okay.
be doing after they graduate?
I think one's going out of state to do music studies, I think, and one's doing elementary education studies. I think one is going into engineering studies, and yeah, I think that's probably all I know.
Okay, well, that's still a big deal. So I'm happy for all
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Okay, and that's all I've got, and guess that's all we've got. And so, in the meantime, everybody, you can stream everything on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. Keep the conversation going. Tell us whatever you got to say, and keep enjoying our show.
Yeah, and if you have suggestions for future episodes, or if you want a specific thing to be discussed, or if you have a question about a previous topic, let us know about those. And if you want us to talk with anyone that we know specifically that we've mentioned before, like say Dalton, I'm sure we'd be more than happy to see if we can arrange that at some point. We can't guarantee when. But yeah, like he said, keep the conversation going, keep communicating with us because we'd love to hear from you.
And my apologies to everyone for my dim lighting. I just had my bedroom painted, and I don't want to risk messing it up, but I did the best I could. But it's not going to look like this regularly. It probably won't look like this again. But yeah, but did the best I could. So take it for what it is. Well, anyway, that's all for now, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone.